The movie begins with a narration by the female protagonist, Jaguaka Jagatjanini, Anushka Sharma. She asks the audience why it is not possible that as humans look for alien life elsewhere, aliens could be looking for humans too. PK is an alien who has just dropped out of a spaceship with nothing on but a shiny medallion hanging around his neck by a chain. He spots a train in the arid Rajasthan desert and a man walking along the tracks with a portable boombox, as seen in the poster, around his neck. With anticipation of making his first contact with a species on the planet, PK runs, albeit in a funny manner with his arms pointing down absolutely straight, toward this human. The man looks him up and down. PK stares back and smiles. Suddenly the man snatches the medallion from around PK's neck and runs. PK chases after him, but he climbs onto a wagon of the goods train. PK is unable to catch him, but snatches the stereo off the man's neck. Jagu says that without his remote control, the alien was stranded on Earth. He had no means of contacting his planet and spaceship. Jagu is shown cycling through Bruges, Belgium in a sundress with an equally fluffy song playing in the background. She has come to hear Amitabh Bachchan recite his father's Harivansh Rai Bachchan poetry. Unfortunately, the show is sold out and she walks back disappointed. A man is holding up a pass and wants €100 for it. The male protagonist, Sarfaraz Sushant Singh Rajput, also wants the pass. Both haggle about the price and finally decide to go Dutch. She loves the poetry, while he is a fan of the actor. She could watch the first half, and he could watch the second. They are just €4 shy of 100 and spot an Indian old man licking an ice cream cone. They both beg the man for €4. The man asks the duo to wait while he takes the seller to task over duping genuine fans of the Indian actor. To their surprise, the old man reneges. They both go to remind him of his promise to get them the pass. Jagu loses her temper and is led away by Sarfaraz. The pair is shown getting away from the scene, with Jagu riding pillion on her own bicycle. This too is followed by a song. By the end of the song, they are shown falling in love and kissing. The old man makes a reappearance, only to be kissed by both on either cheek. The duo is madly in love. Scene shifts back to India, where Jagu's little sister breaks the news of her love affair to their parents. Sarfaraz is a Muslim, as most Pakistani are, and works part-time in the Belgian Pakistani embassy while studying architecture. Jagu's dad, played by Parikshat Sahni, takes the laptop with the same Skype session still running to the god-man, Tapasvi Maharaj, Saurabh Shukla. Tapasvi advises Jagu to forget Sarfaraz as important later Muslims betray, and her dad warns her that, if she went ahead, he would throw her out of his house. She shuts down the laptop and session, while Sarfaraz comes and sits down next to her. She asks him if he would marry her the next day. He replies in the affirmative. The next day, she is in a church waiting, while the last couple get married and leave. A bride gives Jagu a basket with a kitten also important later to hold, while the minister calls out her name. A little boy gives Jagu a letter important later which is signed simply "I'm sorry." Jagu leaves Belgium heartbroken. In India, her dad makes good on his threat and she has to rent an apartment. She works as a television news reporter. She is shown unhappy with the quality of stories her boss has her read out of a prompter. Jagu spots PK in the tube metro distributing pamphlets with images of various Hindu gods, asking people to contact him if they find one. Fascinated, she suggests to her boss that they air a story about PK instead of one about a puppy that is alleged to be suffering from ADHD, suicidal thoughts and various other psychological problems. Her boss Cyrus, Boman Irani, warns that airing religious stories had Tapasvi poke him in the left buttock with a trishul, pronged spear wielded by the Hindu deity, Shiva. A cop he complains to God about asks PK if he is drunk. PK Hokaya being asked the same question repeatedly by various people, the alien assumes that this must be his name and calls himself PK on the handouts, one of which Jagu uses to trace him to his address. Spotting PK once again, Jagu pursues him into police detention. PK has no place to live and often checks into the lockup by committing petty crime like peeing, where it is explicitly written not to, etc. Here, within the space of a few hours, he tells her his story. He comes from a planet where no one wears clothes. Hence he has problems learning how to dress. The film's publicity has PK posing in various weird costumes, one where he is wearing a flowing skirt or gagra with a jacket. As they speak telepathically on his planet, he has to learn a language by holding hands of a human all night. This is all made possible when a musician played by Sanjay Dutt in a cameo takes him to a prostitute. On learning that he had been robbed by a man who escaped on a goods train, Dutt's character suggests PK go to Delhi, capital of India, where such stolen goods are sold. On finding out that his remote is being touted as a bell that fell off the Damru Indian tambourine of none other than the Lord Shiva, PK goes about collecting refunds from all the holy shrines for letting him down. Jagu does not believe a word PK tells her until he reveals that the old man who grabbed his hands was in fact celebrating his 75th wedding anniversary, and she finds it to be true. She promises to return him to his home and takes him in. Jagu takes PK to her office. She suggests that Cyrus meet PK. He refuses because of the religious bend the conversation seems to be taking. She insists that PK asks very pertinent questions and dares Cyrus attempt to answer a few. Outside Cyrus's glass cabin, PK finds a pack of condoms on the floor and goes about asking people in the office if it belongs to any one of them. They all refuse until Jagu calls him in. PK asks Cyrus why sex is personal on the one hand, while on the other, people celebrate weddings to announce that they would be doing it tonight. Cyrus hires PK to expose Tapasvi marriage. PK is unaware that humans can be treacherous, and Tapasvi marriage is looting illiterate and superstitious masses off their money. He questions the basis of faith itself and the various boxes that Tapasvi has compartmentalized the world into on the basis of religion. As a result of 2 episodes wherein Tapasvi is dumbfounded on television, Cyrus is approached for a face-off. Elated at the opportunity to exact his pound of flesh, Cyrus puts up hoardings and airs advertisements of the television event. One of these ads grabs the attention of Sanjay Dutt, who is drinking in a tavern. The robber from the beginning of the movie poo-poos PK. Sanjay rings up PK at the office of the television channel and tells him that his medallion remote was sold to Tapasvi at a price of 40,000 rupees. Shocked that Jagu knew all along, PK is also happy that he would be finally able to go home. However, this joy is short-lived. When PK goes to the train station to meet his friend, a bomb blast kills both Sanjay and the thief. At home, the terrorist group Muslim Outfit on television says they would protect their god. Tapasvi brings the medallion and offers it to PK on the televised face-off if the latter could prove his prediction wrong. PK asks Jagu if she contacted Sarfaraz after having read the letter. She refuses as she too believed that Sarfaraz had betrayed her as Tapasvi predicted. The boy only gave the letter, that was not even signed, to a bride with the kitten. Cyrus insists that she calls Sarfaraz immediately. The hand phone number has ceased to exist. She calls his college, but the administrator refuses to reveal students' contact details. Cyrus dials the Belgian-Pakistan embassy and puts the call on speaker for the television audience to listen in. Jagu asks for Sarfaraz. The lady at the other end asks if it is Jagu and tells her that Sarfaraz calls every morning at 9. His only query is if she had called. Jagu's mother with tears welling up in her eyes and sister watch at home while her dad takes the medallion and gives it to PK. Jagu accompanies the alien to the same spot in the desert where he had landed. He is carrying home the boombox with 2 trunks full of Duracells to play recordings from Earth on his planet. One of the trunks is on the bus while the driver takes off. PK chases after the bus. Alone with the stereo, Jagu hits play and realizes that all cassettes are recordings of her voice. She also finds a note written by PK on the back of a business card confessing his love for her. When he returns, she confronts him about the recordings. He lies. All along, from the very beginning of the movie, Jagu was reading out of a book she had penned about the experience. PK had taught Earthlings to love and learn to lie. Being telepathic, on his planet it was impossible to tell lies. A year later, the spaceship lands once again, bringing a group of aliens who speak the language PK had learned. One Rambir Kapoor in a cameo asks PK how many times he got thrashed. In reply, PK pastes stickers of images of Hindu gods on each cheek and calls it self-defense. Hindus cannot hurt an image of God no matter where it is.